The HOA believed they could push around an ordinary woman. They thought trespassing, threats, and intimidation would force her into compliance. What they didn't realize was that my wife was neither unprotected nor alone. At her side stood two retired military dogs, Brutus and Delta, trained to subdue armed suspects in combat zones. So when the HOA made their move to teach her a lesson, they had no clue they were stepping into a fight they could never hope to win. Before we get deeper, comment which country you're watching from. Let's see how far this story spreads. Like most conflicts, it began small. A letter taped to our door from the HOA president, Karen. Remove the dogs. They hurt property values. I laughed when I read it. Dogs lowering property values? That was a new excuse. But my wife Elaine didn't laugh. She knew exactly what HOAs could do. Fines, intimidation, even lawsuits. To us, Brutus and Delta weren't pets. They were family, loyal partners who had served with me overseas before I retired. They were disciplined, obedient, and harmless unless given a command. But Karen refused to see it that way. To her, they were weapons she could twist into violations. Then came a second letter. This one slid under the door with no name. Comply or things get worse. Soon after, I noticed the drone. It hovered low over our backyard, making Delta growl and Brutus pace along the fence line. One night, I tracked it through binoculars and watched it land directly on Karen's balcony. When I confronted her at the next HOA meeting, she didn't even deny it. She only smiled and said, "Neighborhood safety requires oversight. If you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear." Oversight quickly turned into harassment. Boot prints appeared near our shed. Brutus barked at shadows that weren't there. And then came the so-called compliance officers. 4 men marched up our driveway with clipboards, citing Municipal Code Section 14B, demanding that we tear down our fence. But when I checked the county records, that code didn't even exist. Under Title 18, U.S. Code 242, it's a crime to deprive someone of rights under color of law. But these men didn't care about the law. One leaned close and muttered, "Some rules aren't written down." That's when it hit me. This wasn't about dogs or fences. It was personal. Karen wasn't enforcing rules. She was escalating pressure, pushing us toward a breaking point, and the HOA picked the wrong day to test us.